as Shiva said, we'll be done with entire course. So in the last session, we have discussed and seen examples on how you can create a prepared statement and what are the advantages of prepared statement over statement object. Okay, I mean, if you remember, there are two ways to execute queries in using JDBC concept. The first one is statement object, and the second one is a prepared statement. Statement object is something which is very common statement that we use regularly. I mean, 80% of the time we use a statement object to execute the queries using in JDBC, but the other 20% would be prepared statement, because prepared statement are something which will increase the performance, and they will be used mostly at the times when you want to update or sorry for that, or update a same query for multiple number of times. Okay, for example, if you want to insert into a table, so if you're doing it for 50 times, it's going to take some time to pass. As per the query execution, we have 4 steps, right? So the 4 steps will be executed every time you insert into a table. So in order to avoid checking for the syntax and query parsing the first 2 steps, and to improve the performance, we use prepared statement, so that whenever we use prepared statement, only one time the query syntax will be checked, and all other times it will be skipped because you are using the same query. Okay, in that fashion, you can increase the performance of your application by using prepared statement. But statement, it will be used if you want to use it only at one place, or if you want to save or delete sometimes. Only for one time you use statement object. Okay, so we have seen examples also, and now we are going to look at batch updation, and we look at then after the transactions. Okay, so batch updations are something which you use it regularly, because whenever you want to update any query or delete any query or insert, even updation is not just update on the DB, it could be anything. So it is a group of statements which could not be similar or similar, which are executed only once on the DB. Say for example, if the user is if a user is if a customer is buying some group of products from a website. So this is just a normal example, and I'm going to take it. I'm not going to explain it in the terms of technology. I mean, in terms of coding, but just look at the example. So the user has logged into his account, and he wanted to purchase like 4 items. So what is the best option to do or to buy the goods? The best option would be you select all the products that you want, the quantity you want, and then check out at one time. So what are the advantages in doing that? The first advantage would be you're not placing too many orders for when you want to buy so many products. Okay, and the second one is you are decreasing the shipping cost, because every product, depending on the price of the product, you may be charged with the shipping charge, and then you may get all the 4 products at one time. So that is like you're consolidating everything and submitting it in one request. So there are some advantages for it. So in the same manner, batch updations has advantages. The first one is, if you want to execute like 4 insert queries or 2 delete queries for a simple application, say a user has been deleted from the account, say from Gmail. Okay, and now it is not only Gmail that he's using. He's using Google Plus, he's using Google Drive, he's using YouTube, or he's using Picasa, lots of things, whatever are there in Google, whatever are coming from the Gmail applications, he's using everything. So whenever you do that, for example, and each application will have a different table. Think of it like that. And if I want to delete the same user or the user from different tables at the same time, whenever the user clicks remove my account, you have to go and perform a series of DB changes. Like first one is remove from Gmail table, remove from Picasa table, remove from Google Drive table, remove from Google Plus table, remove from, so etc etc. So these steps needed to be done at once. So for each delete, you can't call execute update and then come back and then call execute update and then come to the code. Like execute update will execute the query, right? So you can't, it is not a good practice to do a single query and then come back and do the next one. It is not like that. I mean, it will decrease the performance because the traffic between the Java application, JDBC application, and the DB is increasing. And if there are more number of people doing the same task at the same time, it will definitely show some performance lag on the web application. So in order to improve that, you can use batch updations. So whenever you want to perform a series of DB operations, okay, for a single action, then you go for batch updations, and this way you reduce the traffic which is going to hit the database, and so you can improve the performance. So in general, it is required. Okay, this is all text. I'm not gonna read it out. But if there's anything I missed, I'll tell you. So this approach will reduce the performance of JDBC application. We have discussed that, and so in order to do that, you have to know two things. First one is there is a method called add batch, wherein you add the query that you want to execute in the batch, in a single batch. So you can add, you can use insert query, and you can use add. You can call add batch and then give that string in the parenthesis, and then you call again add batch to give another SQL query. So in that manner, you add so many queries to a single batch. And there's one more important point that I want to bring it up. So whenever you use this batch updations, there will be an output that is coming from the batch updations. That is nothing but an integer array. Say this batch updations, since they are different tables, since they are coming from different tables, and since they are doing different things, one could be doing delete, one could be doing insert, one could be just updating the value. So all these things, you know, in whatever order you insert that in the add batch, you will get an integer array for that particular result. Say the first query is inserting two records, insert into table first one, insert into table second one, and the third query is deleting from the employee table. So you have three queries, which are first two are insert, and the third is let me type that, you'll understand better. Okay, first query. This could be three different tables or same table. I mean, we don't care, but what we're doing, we are creating three different queries, and then we will do add batch. First query, it is a string.
No.
Second query.
830
Third query. Okay, now you've given all the queries, we have added them to the batch, and then what happens whenever this gets executed using execute batch? It is returning an integer array. Okay, so this integer array, what does it have? Now execute batch is updated and everything is successfully saved in the DB. So according to our query addition to the add batch, the first query, for example, it is giving the results as 3. It is updating 3 rows in the table, and this one is updating 2 rows from the DB table, and this is updating only 1. So now if I want to see the results, how many are updated, it comes in this fashion: 3, 2, 1. Okay, so this execute batch method will return you a integer array which will have the integer values, like how many records have been updated for the particular record. Okay, so this is how you can use batch update in JDBC. And now we'll go and look at the example. I've already created one example, so we'll look at that. Okay, so the steps are common here. The step 1, we are loading and registering the driver. Step 2 is creating the connection object. Step 3 is creating a prepared statement object. Step 3 could be either creating a statement or prepared statement. In this example, I'm creating a statement object, and then in the for loop, okay, I am iterating it for 2 times and then creating a PST object. Okay, this is just a group, and you all remember, I think, the employee table structure. It has a employee name, it has the employee ID, and the department that he is working on. Okay, so now what are we doing here? We are calling, we are creating the prepared statement object, and we are not calling execute update. We are calling add batch. So whenever we call the add batch, this whatever is executed for the first time will be added to the batch, and after the for loop is done, we have added all the things to the PST, and then we are executing the execute batch method. So this will return me the length of how many batches have been updated, or you can show the value also. Since this is an array, I want to print the first value because I'm adding an insert query, an insert for each record, so it will be one result for each record. And then we are closing the connection, which is our step 5, and that's it. So let's see by executing this example. Now if you see the table which is already there, this is a select query, so we'll see what are the records that are already available, and then we'll see the difference. Okay, we have a series 0102 Raj till 9, and then we have Kiran, Ram, 4, and other stuff. So now execute insert. So coming back, we are gonna run this now. Okay, you see now the results are two results. If you see, result size is 2 because we have inserted 2 records here, and the batch is updating the table employee with Raju. Now if you execute the select query again, it should give you the Raju also in the result set. Okay, now see, Raju 0 and Raju 1 has been added to the table, and this is a select query, right? That's why you're getting it in here. This is a different example. Okay, so this is one way you can use the insert, and in the same way we have update also. Here also we're following the same steps. 1, loading and registering. 2nd, getting the connection object. 3, creating a prepared statement object in a different way. If you see, we are creating a prepared statement object and adding it to the batch, and then creating a prepared statement object and then adding it to the batch. Okay, so what are we doing? See here we are setting the department of the employee, where employee ID is equal to 1091 and 1090. So I guess it is already there. So what we'll do now is we'll change Raju's departments, because this audit 0, audit 1 is there, right? We'll change that now using this statement. We'll change that to IT first, and then the other record to actions. So here we are nothing, we are just updating the employee table with 2 changes using the prepared statement object. This is an update statement. You should know the update syntax before you work with this. Okay, so now we are adding it to the batch, and then we are executing the batch and then getting the results. Okay, so let me run this program, and after that we'll not see anything here, but when we execute the select thing, no, we'll see this audit will be changed to IT, and Raj, this audit 1 will be changed to accounts. So let's run this batch update, and then we'll run that select query. Okay, so see here, it is returning me again 2 records because there are 2 updates that are happening, and whenever I will go and execute the select now, and let's see what is happening. So now see, and according to the update example, 1001 has been changed to IT, and 1000 has been changed to 100, has been changed to IT, and 101 has changed to accounts. So this is how you can work on the batch updates, and it's most of the time we'll not be using batch updates because it is very rare that you update all the tables and then do it in a single shot, because we'll be very careful in real time. We'll be using the other examples, the other way, even to update the multiple tables also. Batch updates is something which is not very common that we come across every day. Okay, we have seen example on update insert, and in the same manner we have seen example on update also, update table. So this is it with the batch updates, and the next one, the next topic in the session is transaction. This is very important, especially when you are dealing with banking domain. Every domain, wherever the consumer is actually logging in and dealing with sensitive stuff or important stuff. So this comes into picture. Okay, so basically a transaction is nothing but a piece of work that is done from A to B, like without any interruptions or without any distractions or without any data inconsistency. A to B in the sense they're not just 2 points. You have to think in terms of a user and as well as a developer. Like say for example, if you want to book a ticket, okay, that is from you log in, and then to B is you get out of the web application by buying a ticket. So this is from A to B. You have to think in their terms. It is not just 2 points as in mathematics. Like you draw a line from A to B. These are development things, and A to B could be anything. You go to a shop, you look for different kinds of things that you want to buy, and you buy them. You pay the bill, come out of the shop, and then that you come home, and that is from A to B. You want something, you got something. So that is from A to B. So all these things, it is a full transaction without any disturbances in the events that are occurring in the process of buying. Say for example, A to B. Why I'm stressing is, for example, you went to a shop, you got whatever you want into the cart, and you go to the billing counter, and the billing counter is not working. You waited for 1 hour, 2 hours, it did not work. So you came back home without buying anything. So that is not reaching your A to B point. You stopped at something which which did not let you finish the work that you wanted to do. So that is getting off the course, and that is not a proper transaction. Okay, any transaction should be done without any disturbances from A to B. Okay, so talking about that, in every transaction the asset property should be satisfied. Okay, an asset property is something which would be considered when any transaction is done in terms of technology. And asset means A is atomicity, C is consistency, I is isolation, and D is durability. We look at each property and we'll understand why we are stressing on this. Okay, so the first point is atomicity. So atomicity is something which is unique. Okay, like you perform all the operations, like from going to a shop, do all the stuff, and then reach the P point or reach your home. So that is atomicity is something which will tell you that all the operations, okay, in the transaction are successful. If any step, at any step, if it is fails, then that the transaction is in a failure state. Okay, then atomicity is not um, atomicity is not attained. Okay, so that's how atomicity you can. It is like a. I mean, if we are looking at the general English, how you can map it. But according to asset properties in transaction, atomicity is something where the transaction you call it as a success until and unless all the steps in the transaction are performed, like all the transactions without any failure. Okay, so this is called atomicity. And coming to consistency, say for example you went to a bank and I mean you went to an ATM, you have $1,000 in your account and you want to withdraw $500. Okay, so if you withdraw 500, how much you would be left with your account? You would be left with 500, I mean the other 500, and you will have the 500, so the account is balanced now. But for example you have withdrawn say 500 and you didn't get the 500 from the ATM. So what does that mean? That means and your account shows 500 withdrawn and the balance is 500, but you do not get it. So that is something which exactly talks about consistency. Even after you have withdrawn the amount, or even if you have not withdrawn the amount or the money did not come to you, consistency is not there. That means after the operation, after the transaction is done, your system, in our example, your account is not having the consistent amount of money that you are expecting, because you did not get it. It should be 1,000, it shouldn't be 500. So in order to attain consistency, what you have to do, you have to look at the database. I mean, you have to make the database as stable. So for that reason, in these kind of cases or examples we discussed, if you don't get the money after 1 or 2 minutes, according to the asset properties, they will roll back your transaction because you did not get the amount. They will deposit the 500 back to your account. So this would happen. I don't say this is not a bad thing to happen, but I mean most of you, at least some of your friends might have experienced this. You try to withdraw it, you will not get the amount because of some technical problem, but your account will be debited with the 500 or whatever amount you want, and we'll be frightened. What is happening? We did not get the money, and my account has been debited with the withdrawn amounts. What should I do now? So in order to avoid these kind of problems, the bank and the technology come into picture here, and it will see whether the money has been dispensed from the ATM machine or not. If it is not, then the transaction is rolled back. That means whatever amount that you have withdrawn which does not come out will be credited back to your account. So this is how consistency should be maintained. Say some you have logged into an online account like eBay, and you bought some couple of products which cost you like 200 or $500. Okay, so your account has $2,000, and when you do the net banking, your account did not get debited with the $500. You still have 2,000 in your account, which shouldn't be there. It should be only 1,500. So what will the bank do at that point of time? It will go and see whether the user has purchased online successfully or not. If it is successful, then the user will go and make the database stable so that you have withdrawn 500 and your balance is 2,000. There should be only 1,500. So that's how they balance the database with whatever transactions you have done. So at the end of the transaction, it should be stable. So if you add up this 500 and 1,500, it would be 2,000. So that means it is stable. So wherever it is started from transaction A to transaction B, the balance is matching 2,000, 2,000. So we are good with that. So that is what we have to achieve. We can't let the user, if there is any ATM failure, you can't let the user coming back to the bank and say, I do not get the money, please go and check it. So no one will come and manually check it and then deposit to your account or give it to you by hand. It is all done using technology. And how it is done? It is done with the help of asset property, because if consistency is not there, then every system will fail. Because say I have sent you 1 lakh rupees, on depending on your currency, I'm just using rupees, 1 lakh rupees to your account, and I still have that account even after I transfer to you. So that is something which is inconsistency, right? It is not consistent. Even if I transfer to you the money, I mean, I should be debited with that amount. But if I'm not, then there is something wrong in the code. So this property consistency will make sure that I will not be having 1 lakh rupees with me even after the transaction is done. Okay, and the next one is isolation. So isolation is something uh, which says it should be done without any effect on the other transaction. Say, for example, now, okay, I have an account wherein I'm withdrawing or I'm doing some online transaction again. So I'm taking this example so that you'll understand, much easier without any effort. So now, if I take isolation, what does it mean? Means I am doing a online shopping. Okay, I have say 50,000 in my account, and then I have done shopping for 10,000. So how much should be left? I should be left with 40,000. So at the same time, someone who is a friend of mine, he's depositing some amount into my account. Say another 50,000. Okay, so it should be after I withdraw 10,000, it should be 90,000. So if I withdraw 10,000 at the same time if he's depositing 50,000, what would be happening? So there could be little seconds of difference, right? So whenever I withdraw it, if both the transactions are acting on the same account, there will be definitely inconsistency in the amount. Say I've withdrawn the amount, but again some amount has been come up, and it has again showing as 1 lakh. Okay, I have withdrawn 10,000. Now my balance is 40,000. At some other place, he is depositing 50,000. So all these things should be done step by step, because if at all after I withdraw, if that money has been deposited to the account like 50,000, and the 40k in my account, if it is displayed as 50, and that 50 become 1 lakh, and even after I withdraw the 10,000, I'll have still 1 lakh. Okay, that is 10,000 extra for me. That is a profit for me. So which is not isolating the transactions. That means the transaction should be isolated. Each and every transaction should be done one by one, because see, in maybe in a simple example, in this transaction, if you go to the shop, I said, right, you are at the billing counter, and you can't do two things at one time, right? You should be doing only billing. You can't just go and pick up some other item. You have to bill them, and then you have to take them home. So every action should be isolated. You can't do two things. You can't do billing, or you can do shopping. It is not, it is not a two-way process. It is only one step process in asset property in order to do the successful transaction point from A to B. Okay, so that is called isolation. Each and every step that you are doing should be isolated with the other one. It should not affect it. It should be very independent. That means, if two things are acting on the same thing, it will definitely bring confusion. So if it is only one thing acting upon one item, then you will have more clarity. Okay, and even if its process is slow, but you still are sticking to the asset properties, that is good enough. Okay, and the next one is durability. Durability is something, say it could be a simple thing. It could be a natural disaster, it could be a system failure, or it could be something, a human error, or something like that. What should happen at that time of time? So durability is something like how robust are your machines. Like if there is any system failure, say your bank account, every bank account holder will have an online account, right? So if something happens, and what happens, the servers burnt out, okay, there is some fire accident and everything is turned into ashes. So what if you log in, will it say you don't have any balance in your account? Will it say that you have zero account, or you have more amount, or will it say I'm not able to fetch it this time, server is down? It could be server is down, but the balance will be the same exactly at the time that you have left the account. Okay, That is called durability. And the other way is, say in a transaction you are withdrawing an amount from an ATM and suddenly the power is gone. Okay, I mean generally we'll have the backups, but somehow the power is gone due to some technical failure. So what would happen at that time? So you got the money and still you did not get debited, because since the debit transaction is happening, removing the, I mean minus, doing the minus subtraction from the amount that you have from the amount that you have taken, at that point of time when the calculation is being done, the power is gone and the system crashed. So at that point of time what should happen? So you will have your account is not debited, and I mean will hope that every time you do the transaction, the power, some technical problem should come. But in order to avoid this kind of situations, what they does is uh, they have a backup machine for every server that we work on, wherever the vital information is present. Okay, otherwise if it's one thing, it is not at all possible to retrieve it to the original state. So that's why durability is also very important in asset principles, in order to make the DB stable and uh, the transactions are saved every time you have done it. Okay, so that is called durability. And out of all these concepts, we might have come across rollback, because if the power is gone and you're transferring an amount of 1 lakh and it is debited from your account and is not credited into your friend's account, so what would happen? You'd be frightened, right? I mean, 1 lakh rupees, where the money is now, we don't know, because we have done an online transfer, we do not get any transaction. So sometimes we get tensed, right? Because it could be in booking also. If you are booking a flight ticket, if you are booking a train ticket, sometimes we'll not get the money or the confirmation, so we'll be very anxious about what is going to happen. So at that point of time, the asset principle, I mean this is followed by everybody, will make sure that the transaction that you want to perform is successful or failure. There are only two cases. It can be like, okay, half is success, another half will be happening after some time. It's not like that. It is like either you do it or you don't do it. So if it is in the middle and something broke, you roll back whatever has been done till now. So the rollback is not a new term, but according to JDBC, rollback is something which will change the database state. Say for example, there is a record called as in an employee table, Ashwant, and he's working on JDBC and some production support. So if you want to change the role, I mean if you want to change the team of Ashwant, what should I do? I go to the table, update it, and then come back to the application. So now the department of Ashwant has been changed from production support to development. So now if you want to roll back, what should I do? You can again go and update, or what you can do from JDBC applications is you have a concept called as rollback, wherein whatever DB operations you have done in the last session will be reverted and they will be placed in the previous state itself. Okay, so rollback is very important in case of asset principles, because if anything goes wrong at any point of time, it could be at atomicity, it could be at consistency, isolation, or durability. Any place, if something goes wrong, the rollback should happen, because the database should be stable. I can't just leave the transaction at that point of time stating that it will be solved later, but instead you should fix it at that right moment itself. So for that we have a concept called as the rollback function and rollback concept. Here you can see it is highlighted here. I'm highlighting it here. So this is how you can do the rollback. That is a method. So coming back to the other thing, set auto commit. So the set auto commit is something, see, wherever the update or insert examples that we have seen till now, we are not actually committing the database queries that we have just done, because it is automatically done in JDBC applications, because the set auto commit variable is set to true. Okay, so now in order to, for example, if you want to remove a transaction, the last transaction, if you roll back the last transaction that you have done, how can you do that? You have a concept called as save point and rollback. So we'll see that in this page. So save point is something which will save. It's like a game saving, guys. So we save the game and we go back there and we'll execute it, right? So this is in the same way. So the set of instructions can be saved in a save point, and then you can execute the transaction. Okay, and you can set the save point with the help of set save point method, which is coming from connection object. And then once you set the save point and you want to revert it back, so the rollback function will help you roll back the transaction from for that particular save point. Again, save point is something where it is having a set of instructions and I want to roll back them. So in order to roll back, it is not easy to do that. You have to have a save point for that, and then you have to roll back the transactions. Okay, and you could release the save point. Save point releasing is nothing but deleting the save point, and then save point will only work with help of type 4 driver in JDBC concepts. Okay, so these are just methods. We'll see how you can use them, and then we'll be good to go. Okay, so we have an example wherein we have the same steps, registering and loading the driver and getting the connection object to the second step. The third one is creating a statement. In the last example, we have created prepared statement, but this time we are creating a statement. And then it is nothing but select star from employee. We are printing the employee records. Okay, and here is the save point. Okay, how to create a save point? We are creating a save point here using a save point from connection object, set save point, and this is just a name. I've given the name close deleted one, and see, this is how you can do this. String, this is just a normal string wherever I want to delete the record, whatever I want to delete the record. Okay, and then execute update from the. This is normal, guys. I mean, we have seen how to execute the select query using statement method. This is the same, but the change that I wanted to highlight here is if I change my mind not to delete it, what should I do? You have already executed the execute update method at line 53. That means the DB operation is done, but still you have to roll back it. So how can you roll back it? Now in the connection object we have the method called as rollback. You give the save point, like from here to here it is a save point. It will roll back whatever is in this case is deletion, but whatever has been done, it will be rolled back. Even if it's an insert, it will be a deleted. If it's an update, it will be reverted. It will be delete. It will be repeated. So this is how you can roll back the transactions. And see, the point that we are looking here is once that rollback is done, we are refreshing the cursor, and then we are calling again the same function, so that we'll see that employee 1000 this 10,100 is not deleted from the D. If you see that, then the rollback is working fine. Otherwise, it is not working. Okay, and one more important point that you have to keep in mind while working with this rollback is you have to mention auto commit to false. Otherwise, after this execution is done, auto commit is done, and then it cannot be rolled back. So in these cases, you have to set the auto commit to false so that it will not commit it finalized it in the new. So let's execute this and see what are the records that are there. So we still have the 10,100 record here. It's Raju 0, so that's what we're gonna delete, and then we'll get it back. You see the deletion is done, and but still, since we have rolled back the save point, we are getting the 110 and 100 as this thing. So if you comment this rollback, okay, so let's execute this query and see whether that will be there or not, then you will be able to understand. Okay, I'm getting this right. So after removing this, I'll set the auto commit to for. Check that.
You're thinking. Am I right?
Okay, we have a method called as commit. So what is switching that. And now after this execute is done, we are committing the execution. So then we'll not see this 10,000.
Ni bonda.
Okay, so the rollback concept is it will roll back whatever has been deleted or updated. There's something that is happening here. I have to just go and see that. But this is how the rollback actually works in transaction environment. Okay. So if you guys have any questions regarding rollback, transaction, or batch updates, you can ask me. In the meanwhile, I'll work with this. Any questions? Okay, good. Is anybody there? I'm not able to hear properly.
Yeah, Aditya, no questions.
Did you practice any examples that explained?
Yeah.
No, that is. Okay, so that is it with JDBC, and we're done with it. So tomorrow we're gonna start with Struts 1 framework. So for that, what I want you to do is I want you to look at the code that has been done for servlets, web.xml file, JSPs, and other stuff. That is enough. But go look at the servlet examples and web.xml file. That is very, very important. It's because I'm keeping in mind that you already know servlets and web.xml stuff, and then moving on very fast with struts framework. Okay, because it is all done in configuration files. You should be very confident with web.xml file. Then only you'll be able to understand the concepts. Okay. Okay, so we'll meet tomorrow, and then we'll look at structure framework. Any question? Any other person? Any questions till now?
Aditya, can you please email this program?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, sure. I'll email this program.
Okay, thank you.
Fine then. So thanks a lot. We'll meet tomorrow and we'll look at the new concept and new technology.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank you.